Grab a cozy drink because it's time for a quick little knit vlog. If you're new here, I'm Lizzie, aka In the Rose, and I try to do these once a month just to share what I've been working on, knitting, designing, and acquiring. My drink today is an Earl Grey tea latte. I made it at home and it's quite good. I'm really excited for fall this year. I feel like the last couple of years I haven't cared that much, but something in the last couple of weeks has been happening. Okay, for starters, I don't have any finished objects this month. I might have said the same thing last month too, and this is a problem of mine. I'll go ahead and share what I have been working on. Yeah, it's still not done. It's just one of those things that I have been dragging my feet on, and I'm so close to being finished. I have to finish the neck and then do the collar, and I'm done. I did all the hard parts. I solved all the problems in the pattern, and for some reason I get towards the end and I just lose all momentum. I think I needed some space from this. I've had a couple people ask me when this will be out. I want to do a testing call soon for it. I promise it will happen. I worked so hard on this thing. It's been like my little baby for the last year, and we're really in the home stretch now. So I just need to put my nose to the grindstone and get back to it. Just keep an eye out for the testing call because it will be coming soon, I promise. Okay, my next work in progress is another sweater design. This will be coming out after the diamond sweater, despite being started prior to the diamond sweater, if you can believe it. You may be wondering what you're looking at, but this is the start of a top-down raglan sweater. And as you can see, I have these contrast color stripes all the way around the garment. And I've got a fun little twist to it that you'll see later once the sample is a little more complete. But yeah, it's gonna get a little difficult to manage because by the end of the sweater, there's probably gonna be like 16 of these hanging off the garment. I 3D printed some yarn bobbins, which if you've been watching, I've actually been making videos about my 3D printing knitting experiments. Printed a bunch of different bobbin styles, and these are the ones that I liked the most. Originally, they were a lot bigger. I just shrunk them down to be a little more manageable because I also didn't need a huge bobbin for this. The tiny ones are just perfect. They only hold a couple grams of yarn at most. But since doing those experiments, I've actually learned how to model, like 3D model. So I think my next step, my next phase in this journey is actually going to be designing my own yarn bobbins because these are great, but I still have problems with them. There are still some things I don't like. So it'll be really fun to, just remix this design a little bit and see if I can come up with something that works for my situation. For example, one of the issues is these just like rattle around and they get tangled up really badly. So right now I've kind of like safety pinned them or stitch markered them together. But what would be great is if they had like little holes, and then I could put the safety pins in there to hold them together. Because right now, whenever I want to unravel a little bit more of this yarn, because I've been using it up and I need some more length, I have to take the safety pins out. It's just a little cumbersome. So I have some ideas and I think it'd be really fun to play around with some 3D modeling and make my own yarn bobbins. So hopefully I'll make some progress on that and I'll be able to share that with you soon. Yeah, anyway, I am super excited about this pattern. I started designing this a year and a half ago. I lived in a different apartment in a different city and I did not have yarn bobbins. I had made some good progress on that first sample way back when, and you can even scroll back in my Instagram and I've got some photos from that time period. But I just realized the pattern had some problems. There were a couple of design details that I just could have executed better. So I decided to restart it, which I was really glad I did because I feel like I've come such a long way in my design journey since then, and I can write a better pattern now than I could a couple of years ago. So yeah, I'm really excited. This is what I get to put out into the world, the newer, better version. So yeah, I think this will actually be quite a quick knit. It might look a little complicated, but it's really pretty easy. The most difficult thing about the whole part is just keeping these from getting tangled up. So I'll keep you guys posted about this. My next work in progress is another pattern, another new design. I kind of teased this in my shorts last week. I'm doing this really fun striped intarsia motif. I don't know if you can guess what I'm knitting, but it's going to be a hat. It's fingering weight. It's done on 2.75 millimeter needles. The thing I'm most excited about is at the end, once you're done knitting, you fold it in on itself and it's going to be reversible. So you've got small stripes and you've got big stripes, because some days you're just in a big stripe mood and other days you want small stripes. But it's going to be like a beanie that has a brim too. So when you fold up the brim, you still get to see a little bit of the small stripes. And then if you flip it inside out, you get big stripes on the brim and primary small stripes. So drinking game challenge, take a shot every time I say stripes. But yeah, I'm really excited about this. It's fun. It's pretty easy. There are no like cutting your yarn and reattaching, no weaving in ends, because I think this is going to take exactly 2 skeins. You just have to weave in the beginning and the end, and you switch yarns on that middle line right there. And I was able to make the stripes line up in a way where you don't have to be cutting your yarn in the middle at all to reconnect the next color. So super, super, super excited about this. It's going to be really fun. And there are so many amazing color combination like options. Can you imagine? You could do black and white, blue and green. You could do like pink and orange. I'm gonna have 50 million of these, I think. They're just so cool. And then somebody on TikTok thought that I was maybe making a cowl or a balaclava. And now I think I need to design some sibling patterns for this guy. I think a balaclava would be insanely cool. So despite being on 2.75 millimeter needles, this has knitted up really quickly. I've made all this progress in just the last like 5 or 6 days, knitting only a little bit at a time every night. So yeah, I think if you wanted, you could knit one of these in a week, no problem. So I had a couple people say it looked like the Cheshire Cat, so that's kind of cute. Yeah, why not, right? I do hope to release this maybe late fall, early winter. So yeah, keep an eye out on my Instagram and TikTok, because that's usually where I announce my releases. Okay, that's kind of it for work in progress stuff at the moment. I did get quite a bit of yarn though, which is kind of fun. The first bit of yarn that I have to share with you is from Colorwork. I love Colorwork so much. I've talked about them a little bit, as you guys know. And they were having a sale at one point. I might have even gotten this a couple of months ago, but I forgot to share it. My most recent Colorwork purchase is this really cool thick and thin wool. I'm gonna do the influencer hand thing. It's just 1 ply and it's really loosely spun, and it's got this thick and thin texture throughout. It's very soft. They're calling it an Aran weight, but I think you could use almost any needle size with this and get some really interesting different fabrics. I think I'm gonna try to do maybe a chunky size needle and get like a really loose, like almost mesh knit. It's 100% wool. I don't know if it's merino, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was, because it is really soft. So I got 2 colors. I got this pretty burgundy and this like really soft pastel baby pink. And once again, stripes. I cannot seem to get away from them at the moment. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. This is 2 ply. You can see it a lot better on the light pink. Can you see there's a really thin second ply in there? And then the fluffy is 1 ply, and then you've got like a really thin second ply in there too. I imagine that's just to make sure this doesn't totally fall apart. So there you go, 2 ply. As I was saying, I want to make a little like layering piece out of these, really open knit, almost mesh-like, and I want to do like big thick stripes. And I think I want to do like a slight mock neck vest, kind of like shell tank top situation where like wide neck, cuts off right here at the shoulder, maybe a little baby mock neck or like a boat neck or something. So I think that'll be really chic and just kind of like slinky and cool. And I just like have this vision of wearing that with some wide leg, full length, dark jeans. I don't know. Maybe I'm delusional. It'll take almost no yarn, and I think these colors would be super fun. So I love my burgundy and my pink. I mean, I am nothing if not consistent. Alrighty, next yarn. Knit Picks was having like a little Halloween sale where they had a lot of stuff that was 30% off. And I think everything that was purple or black or orange and maybe some green, those were all 30% off. So I took that opportunity and I picked up some Knit Picks Stroll in 2 different colors. The reason why I went for Stroll is because I've been knitting a lot of socks lately, and it was kind of after I picked up a ton of Patons Kroy for a really good deal. It was right around when Joann's was closing. And now that I've knit through most of my Patons Kroy, I just realized I want something softer, because once I finish the sock, it's so stiff and a little scratchy that it like can literally stand up in my hand if I just hold it. And I think that's great because they're obviously going to be really durable. You could wear them with boots and they'd be super warm and last forever. But personally, I actually don't wear my knitted socks that often. I don't know why. I really enjoy knitting them. I just don't wear them. But when I do, I want something a little softer. One of my favorite yarns of all time is Filcolana Arwetta, which is currently attached to a project, so ignore that. But this is one of my favorite yarns of all time. It is heavenly soft. And it's really flexible. The socks, the finished socks have drape, you know, it doesn't just like stand up stiff in my hand. But right now with all the tariff crap going on, this is really hard to find for a decent price. As a substitute, I was thinking about trying some Knit Picks Stroll, and I've worked with this before, but only have used it for heels and toes and a cuff. So to knit a whole sock from it, I'm really looking forward to doing that. I know that softer sock yarns typically aren't as hard wearing as the more rustic ones, but I don't wear my socks that often. So for me, I think the softness is a priority over long lasting. With that said, are you guys tired of seeing this sock on my channel yet? Because this is the 3rd time I've talked about it. This is made out of a pretty rustic wool. Beautiful stitch definition. Like, it turned out really good, but I don't know that I'll wear these that often. For one, they're just a little too small for me, and that is making me not want to wear them because they're just hard to get on and off. So I want to reknit that sock in a softer, slightly thinner yarn, just so they're comfortable. You know, I want to wear my knitted socks since it's already not something I naturally gravitate towards. I just need to make it easy for myself by using really soft yarns. So I'm going to reknit those. And I also think I'm gonna try cuff down this time. I normally knit my socks toe up because I just love the really seamless toe. I'm not great at Kitchener stitch, and that's one of the reasons why I do toe up. But the bind off for toe up socks just always looks frilly and not very neat and pretty. It's super stretchy. I think I used that like Jenny's Magical super stretchy bind off or whatever. It's just fine. I hate how it looks though. I just don't like it. But whenever I've done cuff down socks, the cuffs always look really nice and clean with a long tail cast on. So that's what I'm after next. I'm gonna do cuff down. I'm gonna be brave and do the Kitchener stitch. And I'm gonna knit those socks again in some softer yarn. So I'm really looking forward to that. So these ones are for me. And then I also got some black sock yarn, also Knit Picks Stroll. And I think I might knit my boyfriend a pair of socks because he wears only black socks, and maybe he'll wear hand knitted socks if they're black. I forgot to drink my tea. Okay, the last yarn acquisition that I have, I feel very, very spoiled right now. One of my best friend's mom knits. She's like a lifelong knitter and is amazing and so talented. And last time I saw her, she gave me a ton of mohair yarn, but this isn't just any mohair yarn. This is 100% mohair. So I want to show you what it looks like. First off, check out that halo. It is so lustrous and shiny, and it's kind of sticky too. It just sticks to itself. But yeah, it's really interesting. It's very ropey and has this really strong halo. It just feels like wiry hair. It's really cool, but the luster is so pretty. I'm just obsessed with that. I have a plan for this, but first I'll show you the pattern that the yarn came from. And this is vintage yarn. This is from like the 70s or the 80s, probably the 80s. So the yarn manufacturer is Montage, and this is the pattern that came with the 100% mohair yarn. I feel so bad for this poor model because she was probably dying of heat stroke during the photo shoot. I believe it's knitted flat in separate pieces and then sewn together. But yeah, I couldn't find a ton of information about this yarn online. It is discontinued. I just feel really lucky to have this because it's really hard to find 100% mohair yarn, and it's just so interesting and cool, and it's a beautiful color too. So I do have a plan for it. I dream of making this like deep V sweater, kind of more of an open knit, just so I don't die of heat stroke. Also, that would kind of highlight the texture of the yarn a little more because it's also a little thick and thin. I am assuming that I will probably always want to be wearing a layer underneath that sweater because mohair is, I'm sensitive to it personally. Like I find it a little bit itchy. So deep V-neck sweater, and then I think it would look really pretty like over just like a high neck long sleeve tee to get kind of like a chic layered effect. I'll put some inspo pics around so you kind of get like the vibe I'm going for. But yeah, it's heavy yarn and it's just so much fun. So that's going to be a really special sweater. I've acquired a lot of vintage yarn in the last year. It's kind of fun. I love it. It's like a little time capsule. Somehow this yarn has gone unknitted and untouched for 40 to 50 years. And that really excites me. Anyway, that's kind of all I have for you today. Either because I'm starting projects with reckless abandon or taking forever on the same two. But yeah, thank you for joining me, and I hope you all have a lovely October. If you're gonna dress up for Halloween, tell me down below what you're gonna be. All right, I wish you all a very cozy fall, and I will catch you later. Bye.